I am Dave the Amateur Magus. On this channel I talk all about the mechanics behind ceremonial magic, occultism, esotericism, and the mechanics behind everything you can find within a dusty old grimoire. If you enjoy what I do here and you want to support the channel, link in the description of the Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to videos early, Patreon exclusive videos, and the Occultic Manual series, which is a monthly write-up that I aim at being more instructional than what I have here on the channel, but less advanced than, say, one of the old grimoires I like to reference on the channel. If that sounds of interest to you, link in the description and to the Patreon, and I hope to see you all there. And if you're already on the Patreon, you have my thanks for your continued and ongoing support. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the weirdest topic that I ever think I'm going to cover on this channel, and that is the fact that sometimes spirits don't care about your spiritual development. What do I mean by that? Well, we're used to thinking in terms of divine celestial spirits or demonic spirits. Angelic spirits, we are taught, are invested in your spiritual development. You call upon the four archangels of the quarters in the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram because you are trying to develop a relationship with them, because those angels will eventually assist you and guide you through your spiritual development. We are used to thinking of the holy guardian angel. Getting the KNC of your holy guardian angel is considered this massive undertaking for a lot of the occult world, despite the fact that it is basically the equivalent of graduating high school. We are convinced, and we have contributed to this mythos that spirits are there to help us spiritually develop. Conversely, we have demons. Demons are there to get you off of the path. Demons want you to work with them in order to get you to manipulate you into believing that, yes, you can just do whatever you want. Why would you worry about spiritual development here? Partake in the demonic magic of the Ars Goetia. Manifest your heart's desires. What's the point of spiritual development? No, don't pay attention to the corrupting influence of the things that we are bringing out of you, the worst parts of your personality made manifest. Don't acknowledge those. We're used to thinking in terms of that if we are using ceremonial magic, but there is multiple categories of other spirits out there. There are elemental spirits that we also commonly work with. There are planetary spirits. There are a lot of spirits in the occult, and usually when it comes to the quote-quote rebellious spirits, or the spirits that we typically don't work with, usually what ends up happening is the reason we don't work with those is because, for all intents and purposes, those spirits don't care about you. They don't give a fuck. They are the spirits of nature. Why does the river care about you unless you are giving something to the river? If you're not cleaning the river, why does it care? If you're not doing something for it, why does it care? If you're making a deal with the spirits of the forest, why should they give a shit about you, intruder in their woods, in their home? They don't. So you need to make a transaction with them. This is the nature of transactional relationships in the occult. I give you something, you give me something. Now, typically when it comes to nature spirits are going to be much more benevolent, I would say. Nature spirits are going to be much more benevolent if you are not, actively trying to fuck up the forest. If you are actively trying to be a good person and try to, you give some offerings. Maybe you try to help grow some trees. You give some fertilizer. Whatever you do, you give some offering to the forest. Usually that will be enough. Typically, crossroads spirits and trees are considered good offering points. Crossroads spirits, for reasons that are obvious, crossroads are the border between worlds, spiritually speaking, but trees are kind of terminals, in a way. Trees are terminals for the forest. Now, of course, you do have these spirits, and they are going to be able to assist you. But at no point should you misconstrue it. This tree is not there for your spiritual development. This tree is there for the spiritual development of the forest. Nature and humanity are very much separated, especially in the modern day. And this is something that we get misconstrued a lot. We have this weird human-centric view of the world, and that human-centric view is that everything is there for us. Now, this actually does go back to the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis says something to the effect of, mankind was made on the final day, and basically everything was made for us. It was made in the garden. However, We are supposed to tend to the garden. We are not supposed to defile the garden. A garden needs to be maintained. It needs to have the weeds removed. It needs to be tended to, otherwise it will become overgrown and then it will become unrecognizable as a garden. This is important to realize. Now, when it comes to our spiritual developments, we typically, in the occult, will work with one of two different major categories. We will work with angels or pagan gods. These are the two major categories. Now, if you are doing pagan gods, that's fine. If you are doing angels, that is also fine. Neither of these is inherently better than the other, as weird as that sounds, given the fact that I mostly focus on the angel side, and I don't really talk about the pagan god side, so let's talk about that a little bit here. Pagan gods usually will care about their followers and helping their followers. That is why I don't like working with them. Angels are very similar, but they are more invested in helping those who are following and trying to spiritually develop. Typically, when it comes to offerings, gods and pagan gods specifically will ask for offerings. This can be anything from bread to incense to candles, whatever it is, you name it, and it will be offered. But when it comes to angels, angels are a little bit different. Angels just want you to continue to try to do your best. And that is what kind of the implicit offering for angels is that striving for spiritual development. Effectively, the cost for working with angels is you trying to actively be better. And that's all that spiritual development really is. Spiritual development is just you trying to be better. This is kind of the issue with do not cast pearls before swine, and this is why, and I will be talking about this in a future video. This is the entire reason why you have a lot of spiritual disciplines trying to protect themselves from the uninitiated and those who won't understand them. Because while when you're inside they care about your spiritual development, they do not care about dealing with the people who don't know what they're getting into. They don't really care about those who don't understand the process or don't know what's going on. They just care about the initiates and the people who are already in the know. This is a recurring theme. If you're not magically inclined, the magic doesn't care about you. The magic doesn't care if you believe in it or not. Magic still affects people who don't believe or know that magic is real. It does. The main issue I have with the theory and the process of, oh, all spirits are there for us to spiritually develop, and all lessons are there for us to learn something. Yes, everything is a learning experience and an opportunity to learn new things. However, sometimes you just need to accept that sometimes the lesson is fucking stupid. You know, I used to remember a quote that said, you can get spiritual enlightenment pretty easily, but it's going to piss you off. I really feel like this also extends to spirits, because spirits typically have a better idea of spiritual truths than we do, and I'm sure that even they have annoying things about spiritual truths that they just can't share with us because we're not really ready. Right? Like, it is the problem of, you're not a spirit, so I can't tell you the really annoying things. But yeah, I wanted to just talk about this because I found that people kind of seem to think that all spirits care about spiritual enlightenment and that the entire universe cares about your spiritual enlightenment. No, you should care about your spiritual enlightenment because that's what the entire point of spirituality is. Not everything is here for your spiritual benefit. Some things are actually here to spiritually hinder you, though counterintuitively, spiritually hindering you sometimes is a spiritual benefit because you can learn from that. Though not everything we learn is actually a good idea. Yeah, don't grab the high voltage power lines you were told not to hit and you've seen things catch on fire from touching. Yeah, that's probably a good idea not to touch those. So yeah, I have been Dave the Amateur Magus. Hope you guys are having a good day. If you're not having a good day, hope your day gets better. Take it easy, take care, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.